It's just after 8:30. You're listening to Breakfast here on Radio 3 with me, Martin Handley. It's time for your call, and on this Remembrance Sunday, I'm talking to Eric Woods in Luton. Good morning, Eric.
Good morning, Martin.
You were in the Duke of Cornwall Regiment in the Second World War, and you fought your way from Normandy into Germany. Then you got jaundice.
Yes.
So you were hospitalised at the end of the war. Is that right?
I was, yes. I heard the announcement of peace from a hospital bed.
And eventually you found yourself in Plymouth, waiting to be demobbed. And of course Plymouth had a very tough time in the war.
Indeed it had, yes. It was a lot of rubble about, and they'd erected a canteen amongst the rubble, which they were serving tea and coffee to the troops and all services. And that's where I heard the Dream of Gerontius being played on probably on a radio. I'm not sure, but it was. I distinguished it as the Dream of Gerontius, and I listened to it. It's probably the first time I had really listened to it.
Had you heard it before? I mean, you recognised it when you heard it, did you?
Yes, but not all the way through. I got a love for music when I was in the army. And we used to go to concerts when we could, and we used to listen to old records. And as I was an army signaller, I had we had a rather heavy wireless set, which when we were out of the line and or on training, and it wasn't in use, we used to tune into radio, the BBC radio, the third programme it was in those days, and listen to the music. And we used to, as we only had headphones, we used to put the headphones into a tin helmet to act as an amplifier.
What did all the rest of the soldiers think about hearing Gerontius in the canteen while they were having their tea and buns? I shouldn't think they thought much of it, really, did they?
Not a lot, I don't think. I didn't hear any comment. I didn't know anybody else there.
Yeah.
I was on my own. There were soldiers and sailors and airmen there. But I don't know. I think the chattering went on, and I didn't take a lot of notice.
No. And Gerontius obviously drew you in and seemed obviously appropriate to you in a.
Yes, and it seemed a bit. Some of John Henry Newman's poem are a little bit obscure as Leonardo's painting.
Yes,
you got meaning, and it was difficult to. When I came to read the poem, I found it rather difficult to understand some of the things. But one thing that did come to did sort of make itself obvious to me was that in the chorus Angelicus, it speaks of Adam messing up, really.
Yes.
Adam and the sons of Adam messing up, resulting in war and in hatred and violence. And the second Adam, who's Christ, came to sort things out, gave a second chance, came to the rescue, as it were. But that's pretty obvious in the chorus.
Yes.
There are other things which I don't quite understand what he was getting at.
No, it is pretty complex. But when you listen to Elgar's music, it becomes a lot clearer, I think. And obviously, for you who'd seen obviously terrible things in Germany, there must have been quite a contrast with Gerontius's relatively peaceful death and what you'd seen.
Yes, it was. Gerontius was in his dream was lying in a bed, surrounded by friends, and a priest was in attendance, and it was in stark contrast to what I'd seen happening in Europe, and when men died very suddenly. And of course, the same thing was happening in Plymouth during the bombing. People died very suddenly when the bombs fell. Didn't have much chance to make their peace before they died.
Eric, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.